Good morning, folks. My name is Hein. This morning I'm here with Bullock from Blignaut Wealth Managers. The question has come up quite a few times in average and general discussions where people are indecisive whether they should insure their bike or insure their kits or their helmets and so on. Or whether they should ride and take a chance and push the envelope and see if they can get away with it when it gets to a crash or an accident and you have to pay out of your own pockets to recover these items or get your bike repaired or replaced. So this morning I'm posing a few questions to Mark, and perhaps he could share some of his professional insights and also highlight a few issues with regards to if you don't insure or if you under-insure and so on. So we've got a few questions for Mark, and I'm quite grateful for your time, Mark, to
You're welcome,
help us, and also with your background and expertise to be able to answer these questions and give our viewers and the motorcycle community in South Africa answers to these questions. So the first one, how important do you see a comprehensive insurance, and are there different insurances other than comprehensive for us as bikers and motorcycle riders in South Africa?
Okay, Hein, just first off, thank you very much for the opportunity. We really appreciate the opportunity to talk to the biking community. To answer your question, I'm going to answer it with another question to start off with. And that question is, can you afford to replace your motorcycle in the event of an accident? So that's the first question. The second question is, can you afford, if there's a third party involved, and you are at fault, to look after or to pay their expenses, because you will be held liable for that.
Yeah.
So the answer to the comprehensive insurance is, that's the benefit. It is very important to have comprehensive insurance because you are covering yourself for the loss of through accident or fire or theft, okay, of your motorcycle. And secondly, in the event that there's a third party in the accident and you are liable or seem to be liable, comprehensive insurance covers you for that as well.
You see, most folks that watching this video know that for the last 4 years, although we've stopped with it end of last year, 2019, for the last 4 years we've been collecting and analyzing motorcycle crash and collision data, and most of the time you have where a motorcyclist and another vehicle is involved in a crash. I don't believe in the term accident. That means that no one wants to take accountability. So it's either a crash or a collision, whether it's your fault or someone else's fault. But today bikes are very expensive. And yes, sometimes you ride a bike that you've been riding for many years, or you bought it second hand and it's worth 30,000. But even then, if you bought a bike for that amount of money, you should have insurance, because a premium on 30,000 is almost nothing, you know, and it's really affordable. So I can't see why people should not insure. Specifically, you know, fair enough if your bike is written off, if it was a crash. A collision is when you collide with something else, like a vehicle, or crashes when you're on your own. But in the event of a crash, it's just the bike and your kit. But if you're in a collision with another vehicle, that third party you mentioned, that to me, that's like raises the hair on my back. To just imagine what they could sue you for.
Absolutely.
Or hold you accountable for, you know?
Absolutely.
And let alone the loss of life in the other vehicle. That to me is a nightmare on its own.
You know, Hein, I think it's important to mention, I mean, it's like driving a car. And the same kind of scenario, except you, on a motorcycle, you are going to be a hell of a lot more susceptible in a collision. But from a third-party perspective, as you mentioned, you can be held liable for the damage on somebody else's property, car, vehicle, whatever it might be.
And death.
Absolutely.
See,
Absolutely.
if it's proven that it was your fault, though.
Yeah.
All right, Mark, so with that out of the way, the next question would be, you as in Blignaut wealth managers, almost said health managers, but in a way you guys do manage the health of persons when you insure their life. Anyway, guys, if you want to know more about Blignaut wealth managers, let me get that wealth managers out. Please, the link is at the bottom in the video. Have a look at their details, and you know, by all means, speak to the folks here at Blignaut Wealth Managers for any of your insurance requirements and so on. All right, on the next one, some people, they buy a riding kit, like a helmet. Fair enough, some helmets are like 600 Rand. I wouldn't even put a pot plant in that thing. But yes, sometimes people can't afford the expensive ones, and at least he's got a full face helmet on his head. So it's all about budget in the end.
Yeah.
Do you offer that kind of insurance? Is that available though?
The short answer is yes, Hein. We will cover accessories, i.e. Accessories that are on the rider's body. So if it's a full sort of leather suit, the boots, the helmets. I think helmets, just in particular, I know that if you have a crash with a helmet or a collision with a helmet, I mean, the best thing to do is not use that again.
Yeah.
Because it's seen as damaged.
That's it. Yeah.
So I mean, if you've got a 12,000 Rand helmet, obviously you want to be able to replace it. Adds on to the cost of the bike.
Yeah.
So the short answer is yes, we do. We cover all of those things that you have mentioned. We also can cover additional modifications to the bike. Okay. Which will need to be specified.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
And that will normally work on a value of whatever those additions to the bike are.
All right, okay. So at least you're not left completely naked. So when it comes to you crash and they only cover the bike, but you've got to replace your kit and so on. And what Mark said about the helmet, when you're involved in an incident, a crash or a collision, that's most definitely replace it, because the chances of that helmet having had impacts is so great. We've had a few things where folks sent their helmets to us because insurance don't want to pay it out. They don't see any major damage on the shell. So we had the helmets x-rayed by folks in Scotborough down south, and you could see the hairline cracks and the shell has been compromised.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chuck it, put it on the shelf. I've got two of my helmets that's been alternatively modified. And it's hanging on the wall. There's no ways I'm going to wear the thing again.
Yeah.
No ways.
Yeah.
All right. On to the next one. We always try and reward folks if they've done something good. I mean, even in school, when the teacher was happy with our performance, they ask for you, they say, stick it up your balls, or even on the forehead. I mean, if you get those ones on the forehead, a little staticky, whatever. And so with riding motorcycles well. Because I think in the end it helps insurance companies. They don't have to pay out if a person is skilled, efficient in traffic, and through that have done some training. Now, I know most insurance companies do offer that, and is it a viable thing? Do you guys offer some insurance discount or a reward to a person if he proves that he's done an advanced rider course or some sort of a skills rider course that really ups his skill levels?
The insurance companies that we deal with will most certainly have a look at the rider training. If it's advanced rider training, there are definitely premium discounts and possibly even discounts on the excess.
All right.
Okay. It would depend on the level of training. Obviously, if it's advanced, your premium is probably going to be a lot lower than if it was sort of intermediate training.
Yeah.
But we do look at that.
All right, that's good, folks. Yeah, I can't emphasize the importance for training. You've known me for all these years. That's one thing I punt big time is training, and I've proven it over and over again that you really drop your risk level as far as exposing yourself to dynamic traffic and those things outside if you have had proper rider training. And those folks who've been trained with us in the past, they can give a testimony to this. And even from other riding schools or academies, let me say academies up in Johannesburg and down in Cape Town, who offer advanced level training. Their riders obviously take that certificate to your insurance company, and they must load it onto your portfolio, yes, and look at the level like you said, and determine the type of discount you'd get. I don't consider the licensed training or even a beginner or a basic rider training as a viable level for any discount on the premium, but yes, definitely advanced rider training. Something that you can be taught how to handle or control your bike in urban, rural and freeway type traffic where most of the crashes and collisions take place. Okay, so the next one I feel is important because a lot of folks don't know what to look for when they approach or looking for an insurance broker or insurance company to have their bike or kids insured or their lives insured. And I feel that's important. That's one of the very important things. Mark, what do you say? What should people look for when they approach a broker or insurance company?
You know, Hein, I think this is one of the most important questions. Because there are options out there. You know, you can dial various insurance companies and get insurance over the telephone. You can go to brokers. There's a lot of different options out there. My view and our view is very specifically choose a broker. Okay. The reason we say choose a broker is very simply because of the fact that insurance companies very often will look at you as just a number. You're just another policy holder. Okay, whereas your broker sees you as a client.
Yeah.
All right, and your broker works for you, not for the insurance company. And the broker's job is to really negotiate with the insurance company. So things like your previous question of you've got advanced training, negotiating with the insurance company to make sure that you're getting the relevant premium discounts. The broker will negotiate with insurance companies in the event of claims, etc., etc. So really, that's the reason why having an insurance broker is so important. Okay, it's worth having a broker. Yes, you do pay for that service, but it's cheap at the price because you are getting a holistic decision. They know what insurance is. They know what to point out to you. Whereas, you know, the person taking insurance doesn't really understand all of the intricacies. The broker's going to guide you as far as that is concerned.
Yeah.
And then the second thing that I want to mention, and you mentioned a very good point, of you looking for a service, you want to know the person, you want to be able to trust the person.
Definitely.
In this industry, trust is key. Okay. Because if you don't, as a client, don't trust us, well, we're probably not going to do any business. So understand who your insurance broker is. My suggestion would be speak to people in the know. So clients, you know, the bike riding community can speak to people like you, get an understanding of what you do. So that's what we would call a referral. And very importantly, look at the client experience. So it's not just about service. How does that broker treat you? How do they look at your needs and what you require in an insurance product?
Yeah, I think you can pick that up quite quickly in a person's voice. If he wants to just get rid of you quickly, get the policy and go for it,
yeah.
Or whether he's really listening on the other side of the
Absolutely.
telephone line. And you can feel that. You need to feel comfortable. You know?
Yeah, and I think that's a very good point. At Blignaut Wealth Managers, we don't believe in selling products. Okay. Yes, we have products. They are a commodity. We believe in giving a client experience. That's where our value lies. Yes, we will get the best possible deal for you, but the main thing for us is you as a person.
Yeah. All right, that's very important, guys. Go for the experience first. Not just chase low premiums. I like a personal touch, and yes, definitely the experience to me makes one heck of a difference.
And I think a point there, one last point, is be aware the cheapest price often comes at the highest cost.
That's it. Excess, when they drop the premium, the excess can be raised.
Correct.
Everything is a balance.
You've got to understand that.
Yeah. All right, on to the next one, folks. There are quite a few elements that I know that would affect your premium or even your excess. Like I just said in the previous question, you know, some insurance companies could drop your premium because of it to alleviate some monthly pressure, but in the event of an incident or a claim, your excess fees would go right through the roof. There has to be a balance. So, Mark, what would you say affects insurance premiums and excess fees?
Okay, it's another good question, Hein. There's numerous things that will affect the premium, and this is normally looked at underwriting stage. So in other words, right at the beginning. Okay, things like age of the rider.
Yeah.
Okay, under 25s generally will carry a higher premium, okay?
Because of a higher risk, possibly.
Correct. It's all attached to risk, yes. Whether or not you've had insurance previously, Okay, that plays a role, because what we can then see, or what the underwriter can then see, is what has the claims ratio been? If your claims ratio is high and you've had a lot of claims, then you will tend to have a higher premium. Okay, and then another thing is, if you haven't had insurance, there's no record of claims history. Okay, so what they do is they err on the side of caution, and you'll have a slightly bigger claim. A bigser premium, I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
And your excesses can be affected by that as well. And then, of course, rider training, which we discussed earlier. So all of those factors will impact your premium.
A bike locked up in a garage or parked outside, that's a risk.
That is a risk, yes. They will
So
look
we
at
can basically sum it up that the higher the risk, the higher the premium.
Absolutely.
Also, what type of riding you do, what type of bike. Is it also attached to the type of bike? In other words, let's say the guy rides a scooter.
Yep.
And he's not seen as a high risk, he's above 25, he ticks all those boxes, but he rides a scooter, but he commutes every day, compared to a guy who rides casual on weekends only, and he also ticks all the boxes. I mean, you're looking at the same person riding two different motorcycles in two different scenarios.
Yep.
There will be a premium difference as well.
Yes, they will.
Because of the one that's commuting is a higher risk.
Correct.
But again, not necessarily, because he could be commuting in Pofadder, where the risk of traffic is not that high.
Yeah.
Not commuting in Durban, for instance. But then you have the guy who rides on weekends only, but he rides a super bike, a sport bike. And he is known to scratch where it's not supposed to itch. So again, insurance brokers and companies can't be 100% certain what this guy is doing, what he says when he completes the applications with you.
And I think you've raised a very, very good point. So yes, each policy is looked at individually. So the underwriter will look at the information that is submitted. Very importantly, and I always say this to clients, give as much information as you can, because it makes it easier for the underwriter to assess the risk. Okay. The one thing I do want to mention, where a motorcycle has been, the performance has been enhanced by whatever means, it's important to tell the underwriter on your application.
Underwriter being the broker?
You would talk to the broker,
Okay.
but the underwriter is the company that's insuring it in the background.
Oh, okay.
The broker is really just an intermediary.
All right.
Okay. So the company that's insuring it in the background, the underwriter would sit there. And why I mention that, and why I mention the more information the better, is simply because you don't want at claim stage to now have a problem because you haven't told the underwriter that your super bike is extra super.
Yeah, so that's important. Yeah, I think, folks, it's important that you make your broker your friend, and trust him. And if you don't trust him, move to someone else. But I think it's important. Trust, again.
Absolutely.
It comes in. He's there for you, so give him all the details, and rather than be sorry afterwards, and you have to submit a claim, and then you didn't mention the Akrapovic pipe on it, or the slicks, or whatever gadgets they fitted to the bikes.
And I think I really just want to make one other point there, which you've brought up. The trust is very important. At Blignaut Wealth Managers, we have specialists in short term, what we call short term.
Oh yes, okay.
Which is very important. You can buy insurance from an insurance broker, from a company that offers a bike cover. The broker perhaps doesn't know, or they are not an expert on short term cover. You've got to be aware of that. Where what we have is we have specialists in the various fields.
I think it's also important that a broker has a good knowledge of the motorcycle types and whatever that's out there. All right, so on to the next one. And in closing, there's always something that I might have missed as far as an important aspect that you have to consider when insuring your motorcycle, or getting quotes, or talking to an insurance broker and so on. Mark, what would you say if you can give one word of advice, not literal sense of one word, but one word of advice to motorcyclists or bikers out in South Africa? What would it be?
Thanks, Hein. Well, firstly, I don't think I can actually give one word, so I'll try and keep the sentences short. But very importantly, make sure you divulge all the information that you have. Okay, you don't want to feel the pain at claim stage. Okay, and if that happens, you will feel the pain. Secondly, read your policy document. Understand it. If you don't understand it, go back to your broker. They can explain it to you. Okay, a lot of time there's very few people that tend to read their policy documents. It's a trust thing as well. You know, this is you need to understand this contract. Rider training. I think not just from an insurance premium point of view, but from a safety point of view, I would say it's imperative. Okay. And then lastly, I want to say is make sure that the broker that you are dealing with has a specialist in this field, in the short-term field.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, that's I'm guilty of one of those as far as don't read the policy, because I trust Jock. Jock Blignaut's a friend of mine, and he wouldn't make me sign something that's not beneficial to me or to him. And for that, I appreciate him and I trust him wholeheartedly with my life as far as insurance is concerned. But anyway, so yeah, Mark, really thank you so much for your insights. I think it's really valuable. Folks, again, the link to the details is at the bottom of the video. Please make contact with Blignaut Wealth Managers and take them for a spin, you know, and see what they're all about and how they can benefit you as far as your insurance is concerned. Not just for motorcycle insurance or short term, but even is it long term, life type insurance, all those kind of things. Chat to them; they're really professional. Sorry, last question. Is there such a thing where you can just get third party and not the main insurance? And is it a lot cheaper?
You can get what they call third party fire and theft. Okay, you can
for accidents and
yeah. So that would simply cover you for if there's a third party involved.
Okay.
If there's a fire and theft. Okay. So you do have that, and generally that premium will be low. Yes.
All right. Okay. That's not something that you should do, but that's a way out if you really can't afford the big one. And insurance is not that expensive.
No,
really.
it's not.
And if you just work through a broker and listen to them, it could really benefit you. So again, Mark, thanks a lot for your time. I really appreciate your insights.